Hello, and welcome to Learning Calculus by Allison. Today, we are going to be focusing on finding limits numerically. Here's the first example we're going to try. The table of function values for f of x of sine x over 2x at x values near 0 are shown in the table below. This table right here. From the table, what does the one-sided limit as x approaches 0 of sine x over 2x equal? The simplest thing to do here would plug in 0 and make sure it doesn't work, which in this case it comes out to be undefined, but clearly, as the table shows, there's a limit. So to double check that it's not undefined or non-existent, we take points closest to 0 on both sides, both negative and positive, and we see what the pattern is approaching when you get to 0. So to find each of the f of x's, you're going to take the negative 0.1 and plug it in as your x. And the same goes for all of these. Once you do that, you will get your f of x, and you can clearly see that all of these are going towards 0.5 because they have the 0.49, 0.49, 0.49, and 0.49. So you can make the clear conclusion that the limit as x approaches 0 of sine x over 2x is 0.5. Alright, so what's going to happen here is you are going to consider the table with the function values for f of x of x over tan to the negative 1 x at x values near 0. And what you want to notice is that there are two values missing in the table down here. It's negative 0.01 and 0.01. This is strictly to practice your skills on plugging in, which pretty much goes back to pre-cal and how we had to plug in stuff all last year. So in this one, you're going to have to use a calculator to evaluate the functions of x. So first you just enter the numbers as you did in the last problem. So you're going to enter negative 0.01 up here, like you would any other. And for a limit to exist, two one-sided limits must agree in values. So what it's saying is like they have to meet in a common place around here. So first you're going to complete the table, and you should get 1.0000033 for both of these. With the table complete, you can see that the values of f of x as x approaches 0 from the left are closing in on 1, and the values of f of x as x approaches 0 from the right are also closing in 1, so the limit of x approaching 0 in this case would be 1. Okay, now that we've learned how to solve numerically and to plug in your x values and get the function of x, we're going to discuss a few things you should remember for your test. First, you always should check substitution because it allows you to be much quicker versus making a table, which takes up time, especially when you don't have a calculator. So if you can substitute it, it will save you a lot of time where you can use that on different questions. So it's kind of a test strategy too. The second thing is make a table to solve numerically because there's no other way to solve numerically, and you can't just put undefined or you'll get it wrong. And the third thing I wanted to remind you of is there are two other ways to solve, which are analytically and graphing. So if you make a graph, you can like see where it's leading up to, but sometimes it's easier to just make a table. And analytically, it doesn't always work unless you make a table. So once again, you're just going to have to feel the problem out and see what works best, in which case, if you get an undefined, you're going to want to make a table to make sure it works. Thanks for watching.